The second part of this episode, I want to talk about just how interwoven the community really is. It's a really small world out there. A lot of people say that, but in the music industry, especially in Los Angeles, it's like really small. I mean, every single day I turn around and I happen to mention someone to somebody else, and they're like, "Oh, I know that guy. I worked with that guy on this gig," and then we'll get to talking and come to find out we've got half a dozen mutual friends in the industry. So it's really incestual, as I said before. So here's my small world example. When I first got to Los Angeles, I joined this website called musicianscontact.com. That's a website that has lots of people that can list profiles, and you can actually promote yourself and what instrument you play. And you can also list advertisements for gigs that you might have. So I joined musicianscontact.com. Shortly thereafter, I was contacted by a guy named Michael Drake. Michael Drake had a band called Crossroad County, sort of a pop country band, and he needed a drummer. Several months later, I got a gig at Disney. Several months after that, Disney hired another bassist for the show that I'm involved in. His name's Mike Hill. Mike Hill auditioned for Lady Gaga a couple of years ago, as I did. While he was in New York for that audition, he met a guy named Russell Henson, who's also a bassist that was auditioning for that gig. Russell Henson is the boyfriend of Maggie Levin. Maggie Levin, who happens to be the daughter of the famed bassist Tony Levin, who played with Peter Gabriel all those years. She was putting on a play out here in Los Angeles, and she needed a djembe player. At the time, I was working in a theater production called Prometheus Bound. The music of Prometheus Bound was being directed by a woman named Deborah Barsha, who was a music director from Broadway. She knew Maggie Levin, and she was originally going to be acting as music director for Maggie's play that happened to be called Us, and it's based on all the music of Peter Gabriel. However, it turned out that Deborah couldn't do the gig, but she did refer me for the djembe part, which I got. So I flew out to LA and played djembe for the reading. Since she didn't have a music director, she had to find a couple different people to play piano and play a couple other corollary instruments. She ended up getting a guy named Brad Ellis. Brad Ellis is a pianist who is most notably known for his work on the show Glee. So he was acting as music director on this production. And then they also got another musician, his name's Fuzzy Morse, to play guitar and flute. Fuzzy Morse has worked with a slew of people, including Bono, Peter Gabriel, Lou Reed, Frank Zappa, Aaron Neville, Jaco Pastorius, Pino Palladino, Axl Rose, Manu Katché, Pink, David Grohl, Tony Levin, Steve Ferroni, Natalie Cole, Dan Aykroyd, etc., etc. So he was a really cool person to work with, and I continue to talk to him to this day. In fact, I see him at a jam session on occasion down at this place called the Kibitz Room in Hollywood. To round out this whole small world example, I share a rehearsal space with Russell Henson. If you recall, Russell Henson is the boyfriend of Maggie Levin. When I first got out to LA, I needed a rehearsal space. Maggie Levin had recently moved here as well. I posted on Facebook, "Hey everybody, I'm looking for a rehearsal space." Her boyfriend, Russell, plays with a band called Hell and Lula, and they have a rehearsal space downtown, and they were looking for someone to share it with, and I accepted. So, bit of a real world example just to show you how small of a world it really is and how interwoven the community really is. Right now I have maybe 3 different separate networks of people in the industry that I work with, but they're all connected. There's at least 1 or 2 people from each network that knows people from the other networks. And the longer I stay out here, the more I realize just how many people know each other. It's a very tight-knit community, even in Los Angeles. You know, when I got out here, I thought it was going to be, it's such a huge place. It's going to be thousands and thousands of people, and there are, that work in the music industry, but they all know each other, just like back in Boston. So anyway, I hope this video gave you an idea of just how important it is to network, and I hope my 2 little real-world examples exemplified how things work and how important it really is. I'm going to put some links in the description of this video that pertain to some of the things I talked about today. If you like what you saw and you haven't already done so, please subscribe. Tell all of your friends about the show. Please come and visit me at JeffTheDrummer.net. There's a forum there trying to get some discussions going on the industry and anything else you want to talk about, drum related or otherwise. There's a whole bunch of subforums on there that pertain to all sorts of subjects, so please come by and check it out. Sign up, it's free, all you need is an email address. Check me out on Twitter at JTDShow. I am Jeff the Drummer on Facebook and Google+. So anyways, until next time, thanks again for watching. Hope you're all doing great out there. Keep it grooving, as I always say. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.